yet, okay? Oh, we're live. Get the shares on, baby. So when we do get intro music again, it needs to be like really like 1970s disco porn music, please. That's what I want.
Oh, we lost him.
Dave's had enough.
So much for that.
When you least expect it.
Yes. Dave is a man of mystery. No one knows when he'll drop off a podcast.
Here, start the podcast in about 10 minutes. We're waiting on Dave and doing sound checks, and he's having some technical problems.
Yes.
But thanks for joining us tonight, and we hope you enjoy the podcast.
Yeah, so anyway, so 6:30 tomorrow I'll get the second shot, and then I'm figuring after that I'm just gonna round up my neighbors and as a food source in case I get zombieism. That way I don't really have to wander too far to eat brain. I'm sure my neighbors will have no problem with that. That is the plan. It's like walking sushi. In the rain and the snow. It's snowing pretty good here, man.
We're getting a little bit of snow here in Aurora. It's not too bad.
No, man. It started snowing here.
It was snowing more heavily earlier today.
Yeah. So it's been. Oh, look, it's Dave.
Let's try again.
Okay.
We are live, so
Yeah, we are live now.
We did the show without you.
Oh, that's cool. Hello, everybody.
I think that's pretty good. It seems to be better.
I rebooted the router and stuff, so we'll see.
Right. Okay.
Worst case, I'll move closer.
Yeah, worst case. I mean, honestly, it seems pretty good right now. Oh, the sign fell down again. Yeah, he was almost there. He was almost there. He was like,
he should be good now. I got the hat on to keep the glare down for you guys, so his signal should be okay.
Screw that.
I've got one of those really nice garage lights.
Oh yes, that's great.
There's like a big square light on my face.
Oh, that's wonderful. All right, we'll start in about 8 minutes or so. But yeah, actually, it's snowing pretty good here. So I don't know about you guys. I know Steve said it was snowing pretty good in Aurora.
Yeah, we've got a very light layer on the ground. Not much, but a little bit.
Now, roads are covered here.
Yeah, same here. Neighbors across the street shoveling his driveway already. Got probably a couple inches.
Yeah. When I was coming back from the range, it was pretty shitty on Wadsworth. It was pretty crappy on Morrison Road when I cut down there instead of going all the way down Wadsworth to 285 because I already know there's idiots. And there was idiots on Morrison, and then I turned on to Kipling, and it was like, wow. And so, yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's like it's coming down pretty good, but it's the joy of living close to the beginning of the hills. I get a little bit more snow than the average ding dong. And so now it's a debate if I want to get up tomorrow morning and shovel the car to go to the gym, which I probably will. So, because
start your Friday off good.
I got to. It's like I don't feel like ending up back where I was in the beginning of January. So it's not fun. $4,000 and I got a free cup. Fuck yeah.
What happened?
Oh, I was in the hospital at the beginning of January.
Mine was November.
Yeah, my heart.
Dang. Glad you're doing it. Glad you're out.
Yeah, thank you. It was nothing. It's the standard, like, I'm over 50 and I gained way too much weight, and my heart's like, hey, you ever seen clogged arteries? Because you got them, baby. So I was getting short of breath and stuff, like I was going upstairs and stuff. So went to the doctor and said, hey, I started working out again, but this is annoying me. And he's like, you need a COVID test. I'm like, oh, Jesus. So I got that. So nope, I'm fine. And he checked me out and he goes, well, you should go to the hospital because I don't like, the pains in the chest that you're having. So I went in and they did a stress test and it looks like you got possible artery blockage. And I admitted myself, and they did the old calf. They stick the camera right up here, all the way up the arm to the heart. They inject the dye to see if you got any blockage. They found one minor blockage. It was like maybe 8% blockage.
Okay.
But my heart's not pumping the volume that it normally does. That's because I smoked for a long time. So they blame that. And I'm like, just give me drugs and I'll lose the weight. And they're like, yeah, I'm sure you'll lose the weight.
I got a inspection camera and a stethoscope.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, there you go.
A DeWalt drill, you would have been fine.
Right, I'd have been fine. So the funny thing is, I was like at 250, so 250 pounds when I went into the hospital. And I says, well, if I need to lose the weight, I will lose the weight. And of course, they always hear that crap. And now I'm at 216. So yeah, I've lost over 30 pounds in since beginning of January. My cardiologist is like, he's like, you're kidding.
That's huge though.
And that's massive. So I'm gonna get down to 200 by December. So yeah, but anyway, we are 4 minutes away from whatever we're doing. So yeah, so other than that, that's fun and exciting. And then there's always Steve, who has nothing ever wrong with him except his addiction to Coke Zero. We're gonna have an intervention for Steve when it comes down to Coke Zero.
And that's what keeps him running so good, though.
No, it really doesn't keep him running that good. That's the problem. Well, no, it does keep him running to the bathroom.
Don't tell him all my secrets.
No, we won't mention the other wonderful things that. Unfortunately, Steve and I have done one road trip together and one like trip to Austin, so we know way too much.
We learn a lot in those.
Yeah, we learned a lot. It's fun, and we're still friends, which is ridiculously stupid. I know Steve just looks at this whole thing and just goes, "Why am I friends with this guy? He's crazy. Things that come out of his mouth." It's unbelievable. He's just horrible.
That's true. That's true.
It's true. I'm horrible. I don't care. That's the way it is. Yeah, that's how it works, kids. Sorry. Plus, I'm over 50 now, so I just don't care. It's like,
it's like those old guys at the gym. They don't care anymore.
Oh, so luckily the gym I go to is very exclusive, so there's not anybody in it. And thank God, because I'm not gonna lie. So the gym is small, but there is one old
intimate.
Guy.
You say?
Yeah, that way too. So there is one older gentleman who is in there about like 6:30 in the morning when I usually get there, because I want to go when there's nobody there, so I can just do what I need to do and go. And plus, I get to play whatever music I want to listen to, not some crap selection of stuff. He is hilarious because he is Captain Grunt.
Like those guys.
But yes, but like really exaggerated. Like it's like, he's doing like, chest press. He's like, and you're just like, dude, what? And then he's all done, and every time he's done, every single time when he's done, he wipes down the strength training machine, but you hear when he's doing it, he's like and then he leaves, and you're just like, what the? It was one time this woman came in and she's working out and he starts grunting and she just looked at me, masks are on. She looked at me and her eyes got wide and I just was like, and then he laughed and she's like, does he do that all the time? I go, the only way to know is to come in again. And she's like laughing. She goes, you're not going to tell me? I go, nope, it gets better. You just got to come in for the full half hour. Anyway,
hey, we've got some guests. We've got Lewis is on and Dijon. Dijon's calling from Grand Junction. So that's cool.
That's good.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
So I don't know, Steve. Shall we just knock this puppy 1 minute early?
Yeah. Call it.
All right. So let me get my place of crazy. All right. Well, how's everybody doing tonight? And thank you very much for joining Color Cars and Coffee podcast today. So today it's just Steve and myself, and we do have two great guests. We have Dave Larry, of course, and Chris. So we're going to get to them in a couple, and so we're going to get it started right off right now with a couple of events that are coming up. So just so we know, with the weather, these might or might not be canceled. Do not know. Highly suggest that you go to the events tab on the page and look if you're interested in going to one and get the latest information if they do cancel. If we find out that they do cancel, we will post it on the page. So be aware. But again, these may cancel because of the weather. So April 16th. And yes, it is called Car Meet. And that's going to be at 2265 West 92nd Avenue in Federal Heights. And again, Car Meet. And I didn't see a time that it would start, so I'm going to bring up the event real quick. And so that's how that's going to work. Oh, guess what? So Car Meet canceled.
Oh, okay.
So unfortunately, Car Meet canceled. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. So we actually know that one is canceled. So, and moving down the next one on April 17th at 9 a.m. is Wide Open Saloon, Colorado Cars and Coffee. So Wide Open Saloon is 5607 US 85 in Sedalia. Okay, so it's right off US 85 and at Sedalia. I actually know exactly where this is because when I used to go to Castle Rock, I used to pass it all the time. So it will be hosted by Wide Open Saloon, and they're looking at every third Saturday between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. beginning this Saturday. So again, it might be canceled because of the weather.
Yeah, and I'm talking to the organizer right now, Ryan, and he's asking me, should I have this event? I said, so that one's probably leaning towards canceling as well. So just heads up on that one.
Yeah.
So also on Saturday, April 17th, we got Adam's April tent sale. They got a huge spring tent sale, great products, expert advice, and food trucks. First come, first service. I've been to these Adam's events, and they're always a lot of fun. Pick up some polish and wax and ceramic boost and all that good stuff, and they've got it all. So check them out. Also, another event we've got, let's see, actually it's on our IG. It's down in Colorado Springs. And it's called Colorado Meet. These are some exciting names, guys. Come on, you got to work on that. But it's at Black Forest Road, Colorado Springs, Colorado. And it's on Sunday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So, again, check to make sure it's still active or if it's been canceled based on the weather this weekend.
Definitely.
Back to you, Terry.
Yep. So I think that is all the events. There are other events. Definitely look at our events tab.
Oh, we've got one in the comments. We've got one from Tristan.
Yeah, we do. Actually,
we've got Colorado's biggest street barbecue, free video shoot, grill and chill by the Dorado Boys.
Yes.
What time is that, Tristan? Can you give us some details, please?
Give us some details, Tristan. And you should go to our Colorado Cars and Coffee page.
That's in June. June the 5th?
Oh, it's in June. It's June the 5th.
10 a.m. Okay,
so
plenty of time for that one. Yes.
Plenty of gun, but definitely, guys, put that on your calendar.
Yep.
Okay, June 5th. Definitely stick it out there. And then, of course, Tristan will get an event on our page. And there we go. So, and again, we do have other events that are out there. Definitely go check them out, et cetera, et cetera. If you know of any, you find any, post on our page. You make an event, it ends up on the calendar, makes it a lot easier for us.
I am seeing a whole bunch for the next weekend, the 24th.
Yes.
So
yes.
we'll have a long laundry list next week.
Yes, there are a bunch that are coming up. And so one other thing I do want to just bring up on events. So Bandamere is fully open, kids. They never really closed. They have a plethora of events, of track days, test and tunes, et cetera, all starting this weekend. Weather kind of canceled one of them, which was the what was that one?
Probably the CSP Take It to the Track event.
Yeah, so that might be canceled.
That.
Yeah, but the no Prep Kings was supposed to happen. That's canceled because of weather. But definitely check out Bandamere. I mean, it's there. It always has been there. Always will be there. So definitely go, and that is where you can get your fix if you want to do stuff on a track. And just saying. But anyway, we're going to get into basically what I think a lot of you here have joined for. And so we all know there was a level of stupid, and I'm going to call it stupid. And I don't care whatever you have to say if you liked it or not. It was stupid. It caused a rollover because people don't think, and they think they know what they're doing, and they want to show off. That is not what we're supposed to be doing.
Sure.
Okay.
So some background on this. This was up at Loveland, their Cars and Coffee. And that was just this Sunday, right?
Yes, it was this
And
Sunday.
of course, it went viral because there was a Dodge Challenger Hellcat pulled out from the Cars and Coffee event, went down the straightaway right past the event, which was lined with people with their cameras and their phones taking video and pictures. And this Hellcat lost traction or suddenly had traction. I'm not sure what happened, but then it turned right into this white Silverado truck and actually flipped the truck. As far as we know, the truck occupants were okay. Believe one of them went to the hospital and was released, but the owner of the Challenger was cited for a reckless driving ticket, something like that.
As it stands.
And probably all kinds of financial hurt. So we're not going to delve on that too much. We want to focus on the positive thing and the positive things about the car community and how to organize an event. We're going to talk about Dave and Chris's charity and all the things that they're trying to do with their thing that they got going on. We'll turn the mic over to them here in a bit, but we just want to set the stage. We're not going to give a lot of publicity to the event up in Loveland, just to very quickly talk about what we can learn from it and how we can go from here on that.
Yes. So, simply put, lots of us have gone to Lafayette. I went to Lafayette before it was at Flatirons at the original location. If there's one thing about Lafayette is consistency, is they hire local law enforcement to be there to essentially be there in case these things do happen. And let's all be honest, these things are going to happen. No one's going to stop it completely. But if you're going to organize an event, knowing that these things can happen, it's best to prepare. Best way to do it is hire off-duty law enforcement, work with the city. They'll be there and they will stop this nonsense. I've been at Lafayette where people have pulled away doing burnouts, and lo and behold, Lafayette pulls them right over. Okay, it discourages the behavior, and that's the key. It's discouraging.
Yeah, and in most cases, the police presence are not going to be there unless they're
they're paid.
Hired. Yeah, typically they'll be paid because the police are doing things around the city that they need to be doing. So the off-duty cops can be hired for the event for a nominal cost. So that's definitely the thing that we recommend the most. If you are just getting an event off the ground and you think it's going to be small, get some volunteers, get some guys to help you.
Yeah.
Like Dave, I'll probably turn it over to you and Chris. If you want to just kind of give us some quick ideas, and we'll talk about the charity and all your events.
Yeah, really. Hey, everybody. Dave Lowry. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Really, it's just about setting the expectations up front. And with the horsepower and the fun cars, let's be real. It's a recipe for adrenaline. It's easy to want to show off your car. We all spend our time and money and everything. But we keep that up, we're going to lose our hobby real quick and have nowhere to meet. And we can't blame anybody but ourselves. It's business owners don't want that liability. They don't want the bad press. Nobody does. So you really just gotta set it up front and get good people on board to help you run your events and just set those expectations, up front to really help ones that are trying to get going and all that. Don't just assume people are going to show up and be responsible. They big crowds, it's just natural. It's going to happen. So you got to just be aggressive with it up front and make sure people understand when they show up, it won't be tolerated. I have a bullhorn. I walk around with mine, tell people if they see something, let me know. Cops have shown up and I've told them the same thing. I walk right up, introduce myself, let them know if they see something, come to me and I'll handle it. I don't need them dealing with it because they got other things to worry about and they don't want to be babysitting adults. Nobody does. So just be an adult about it and understand our love for cars doesn't transfer over to the rest of the community quite as thorough as it does in our hearts. So we got to be respectful of that and make sure they want to keep us around and always just keep that in mind of if you don't like cars, what would you want from a meet going down the street from you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
fully agree. You definitely do need to have your event organized. You
Yes.
can't just put an event up on Facebook and show up and expect it to be successful.
Yep.
So yes, having that ownership mentality. That's right, Philip. Excellent.
Yeah, there's planning involved. I mean, Steve and I have put together Cars and Coffee events. So full disclosure, in case anybody's not curious, we're calling it a Cars and Coffee Facebook page that basically is a portal for people to post events. We do not handle events.
Yeah,
We
there's
do not put on the
very
Loveland
very
events. We
few
don't put
that
on
we
Lafayette. Yeah,
that we put on. Yeah,
the ones we do are obvious because we say it's us. So we've organized a couple of events, and I'm going to tell you right now, for anybody who's like going, hey, you know what? I really want to have an event in my town. We really need that. When Steve and I make events, and we made a massive event, it was the 10K event for our 10,000 member a long time ago, and it was about 3 weeks of planning, getting all our volunteers hooked up, working with one of our sponsors to set that up, which was Auto Wash. I mean, that because they are a sponsor of ours. So, and to help set that up, they, got permission from the mall that we were at in the parking lot to get it all squared away. And they had liability insurance and everything, which is a question we're going to ask Dave about, all those things. So, it's not, as Steve was saying, you don't just go, oh, hell, God, that's great. Look at that. It's a Safeway parking lot at 7 a.m. and there's nobody there. I'm just going to pull up there. No, you got to plan. You got to think, how big will it be? What's going to happen? Who do I need? I need people to turn up. How am I going to handle this? How am I going to handle that? So it's not just that. If any lessons are learned, that's the biggest one, is get help and know what it's going to be about. And it becomes a long-term commitment, kids. Seriously. Steve and I really don't do them because we're like,
we're lazy.
We have other things to do. Yeah, we're lazy. No,
we know. Well, we know,
and we know how hard it is.
It's a lot of work, and
right.
we appreciate those that do have it.
Yes,
that do have it organized and organized well, and we can quickly look at an event and go, "Yep, that one's organized," and "Nope, that one is not."
We are. That's why we are
fierce
defenders of Cars and Coffee. And some people go, oh, I don't see a problem in anything that's going on there, which people burn out all the time. Oh, you're right. They do. And yeah, guess what, kids? When I was younger, I did dumb stuff too. Okay. But the joy of getting older is you tend not to repeat the dumb stuff because, well, you're older. We're not killjoys. We're not anything like that. Well, hopefully, because I still do dumb stuff. Trust me on that one.
He does.
I still speed. I do. I drive fast. And Matt, you need light.
Yeah, you're super dark. If you are looking to create a Cars and Coffee event, you can reach out to us. Just message me, message Terry, Matt, any of our admins, and we'll send you some advice that we've learned through trial and error. And things that have worked for us, and hopefully will work for you. We're always looking for lessons learned. So those other people that are have events like Dave and Chris, if you have events, send us your lessons learned. We'll take them, roll them into other stuff we've learned, and pass it out to the communities, because we want everyone to have the great events. We don't want to see what's happened this past Sunday.
Well, I can chime in one thing that everyone needs to understand that I think a lot of these smaller events don't realize is to have a safe event. Something that if you want to do something big, like me and Dave are trying to pull off this summer with multiple events, you can't just plan it in 1 week. You can't plan it overnight. How many times, Dave, have you and I talked past 10, 11 o'clock at night? We spitballing ideas of, hey, we should do this instead. It's probably better. You're up at 2 a.m.
Full-time job almost.
So yeah, don't think you can just throw a meet together and have it go safely and smoothly that you think it would. That's when you start running into those problems.
Yep, exactly.
Matt, it's okay. That's good. It's all right.
It's fine, Matt.
Join us.
That getting into that, and this way we can go in here. It's like, with you, both of you, creating events, running events, etc. So this question for both of you, Dave and Chris, is like, so what is the insurance liability of an organized, car event on the private property? What did you guys have to do? Where's the, the quid pro quo per se? when it comes down to dealing with a property owner.
And that's kind of a gray. That's a non-talked about area. I guess it'd probably be the best way to say that. Right now, most meets probably don't have any insurance. They just assume everybody's kind of on their own. You show up and there's assumed no liability by most people. I mean, honestly, but the hosts and the business owners and all that, those are the people that are really kind of putting their necks out for this stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, when the bad press comes up, they're asking who hosted it and where it was. So that's kind of what we're able to do now with what we're doing is we have a way to just kind of maintain insurance on this stuff. So every event we host is just coming with insurance, because ultimately it falls on the business owner. I mean, at the end of the day, that's whose lot it is. They allowed it to happen there, whether you had permission to show up or not. But that's why they're starting to crack down, because if you just show up and do this and cause trouble, I think someone in DTC got fined $300,000. Some business owner a while ago, I saw something. I don't know what the deal was on that, but that's the risk right now of just showing up. And that's why these businesses take it so seriously and don't mess around when incidents happen. They just shut it down because they can't risk their livelihood for our hobby. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't either. You just can't. It's not worth the rest of everything else you do to make this hobby happen.
Right.
So we do have insurance, on our big events. I'm an insurance agent. So if you do need event insurance, I do offer one-time, policies. So that is possible. A couple $100 usually is what it runs. So it's not expensive. It's, $500,000, $1 million policy, whatever you need, that kind of stuff. So it's absolutely possible individually, but it's something to factor in if you're going to stick your name on something. These days, any name out there may be getting the finger pointed at them if something goes real south.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's something that Terry and I really didn't think about too much whenever we had our event, did we? We didn't really discuss. Did we discuss insurance?
Yep.
I don't recall.
Yeah, we discussed insurance. We discussed law enforcement. We discussed volunteers. We discussed your barking dog. We discussed.
That's Serenity. She's.
We definitely, did discuss those things, but we didn't have because the first event we had was at the Radisson, and they had their insurance. So that covered that, and then of course on Auto Wash they took care of that because they had to have insurance to do that. So we were kind of covered on that. So it made you feel better. But we definitely discussed it. And when Steve and I were thinking about doing one ourselves and actually taking one over, there was an opportunity. We even talked about that. We said this is just crazy. So just circling back to when it comes down to the insurance and everything. So if you do have somebody who says, okay, I'm going to set this up, reaches out to you, gets that, in insurance coverage, $500,000 to $1 million. And if say something happens on that property, so is that going to cover the property owner as well with that insurance coverage? So Steve and I do it, so it's only going to cover us, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And then the property owner needs their own insurance. You got multiple layers going on.
Right. So that's something to really there. So there you go, right there. So
yeah,
well,
so kind of answer that. I mean, you're right. If someone pulls onto the public road, where's liability? And probably at the parking lot exit. However, let's say someone's going to burn out in the parking lot, backs over a kid. Who knows what happens in that direct lot? That's where the liability pile is. And when you leave, again, these days they might say you incited it by just encouraging this and having it there and not doing anything to stop it. So yes, it was not on your property, but it was leaving your property, and it was because what you allowed to have happen there. So we do feel you have some negligence in this or some liability, and maybe it's 20%, 10%, whatever. But now you're fighting a lawsuit, you have to defend yourself and all that, and it's just a big mess potential. Now again, that's worst case scenario. But as these things are ramping up and more of these are happening, I think we may start seeing people getting more aggressive when it does happen to get retribution or payback, or not payback, but just patience for intolerance of saying, oops, an accident versus you're being a Yahoo. Kind of right. Deal with it.
Let's pull that thread a little bit. What if you are a Yahoo and have a Challenger Hellcat and are on the public road and crash into a Silverado and it goes on YouTube? What happens?
I was honestly talking about this, or just today on the phone with another insurance rep, the Haggerty rep I know. we don't really know how this one's going to play out. So racing, there's a lot of exclusions out there for that. On track racing for sure. Public roadways, exhibition of speeds. There's a lot of wording in these policies. In the old days, there weren't cameras everywhere. This is full on camera exhibition. Now, was he racing? No, there's no other really cars that he wasn't lined up at a light. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Now, if they cover it from there, it's going to go to your liability coverage. State minimum in Colorado is $25,000 per person. $15,000 in property damage. So if he's only carrying the minimums, guarantee that Silverado's more than $15,000. So now he's going to have a bill for the rest of it. Medical bills potentially from the other guy and all that. So you hope it's covered for him in a way, because that's not going to be good for him at all. If it's not, it just opens a big can of worms. But I wonder if this is going to set some precedents moving forward of what happens with these incidences. Are they considered negligence and we're not going to cover them, or are they still just an accident? So I'm going to be curious to see if we can figure out how this one proceeds. I don't know if we'll be able to ultimately, but that's kind of how it would proceed depending on your liability coverage. So again, it's all important to make sure you understand what you have coverage wise, because of stuff like this can happen quick.
Right. So with that, we'll tug a little bit more. I probably have more experience than most here because I had a DUI when I was younger. See, I did stupid crap when I was young. So I had to carry an SR22 for a year. Big deal. That's easy. So in a case like this, if somebody is, loses control of the car, etc., leaving somewhere, it doesn't matter where. We're not going to say Cars and Coffee. Just somebody does that. It's on video. Yeah. They ram into, they wreck into a car, flip it, all those kind of things. What is that process for a driver like that? I mean, how long who's going to insure them essentially? Is it more going to be like, hey, the big names are not going to look at you. You got to start at the, the lower tier and kind of build yourself back up?
Quickly, for our listeners, can you also describe what SR22 is?
Yep. So SR22, it's financial filing with the state. Think of it as putting the state as a lien holder on your insurance policy. So if your policy ever goes out of force, they're notified instantly. You essentially have been deemed high risk to the state and everybody else on the public roadways. So they want to make sure that you always have coverage in case you screw up again. So it's an extra filing on there, alerts the state if it goes out of force, so they suspend your license right away, that sort of thing. In terms of what happens from here, the big question is going to be what the ultimate charge is. If it's a major violation, kicks it into a different category, such as the DUI. Now you have a major violation in 3 years, and you're probably gonna have to do some shopping. If it gets pleaded down to a minor violation, it's honestly just a claim on the record, just the same as if you rear-ended someone, minor fender bender, which that's going to be the curious part to see with the video footage and all that, what the DA goes for. It's really going to depend on what they ultimately convict him of with the charge. If it's a major violation with bodily harm and all that, that's a bigger thing. And depending on how much bodily harm, if it expands in liability onto one of the property policies, now you're really getting hemmed up on claims and stuff like that.
Okay. So with that, because we'll tug a little bit more because I like doing that. So with a situation like this, so any dispute where there is video and it went viral and it's all over the place, the chances are a driver who is involved in that, their insurance probably knows the real, the extent of it.
Oh yeah.
And even though
the
charges might be that, so where does, because I know insurance companies can at will decide we don't want to cover you because even though this and this happened and you only got ticket for this, this, and this, we consider you high risk. Even if the state doesn't, we do. So with that, I don't know how much you could get into that, but with that being said, is that like a black mark? So say somebody's insurance company says, well, you know what? I sold the video, went viral. We're just going to drop you. Does that become like almost like that black mark against them if they try to reach out to another insurance company? They go, we heard about you, son. Or is it more like, hey, that's their option and everything else is kind of wide open?
Yeah, think of insurance people as, or the actuaries as just numbers guys. They don't see anything beyond the result. They don't necessarily care how it got there. They see the number paid out and that to an extent. Now, the insurance adjuster, they're going to be doing more of the investigating, seeing how much liability this guy really has. Like you were saying, sometimes the court will say, no, you're not at fault, but the the insurance company's going to say, well, we have a witness that says you were on your phone during this, so we still feel you were 20% at fault liability, so we're going to take 20% of the payment away. In this case scenario, that's not going to necessarily carry over that way, but the adjuster's definitely, looking out there, the investigation team, and seeing, and there's no way to hide this one. I mean, that thing was national news, I think, in a day. So it's going to be very curious to see if we can figure out what happens with this insurance-wise, because a lot of bad things going on in this one.
Right. That's true. So in your estimation, though, how long do you think it'll take for everybody in the insurance world to go, ooh, this was precedent setting, and this is what's going to, what's like, about how far down the road, in this year, do you think you'll see the result of that, saying if it was setting a precedent?
I would say, I mean, we'll probably, it just depends if they know, put it out there. They probably won't unless you're the claim person or somebody. Right. We'll never know, ultimately what they decided. It'll just be more and more cases coming up. And I guess the news may report on how they ultimately, if he doesn't get paid out to the other guy and the other company, or the truck driver has to come sue him, and that goes to the news or something, we may find out that way. Well, that's the hard part, is a lot of this may not be public knowledge. So what will happen is then you'll start getting notifications in your policy. This has now been updated. Right. They're just going to slip it in. So ideally, I would be notified. Usually what happens is they're going to give me updates of saying, hey, here's our updates to the policies. These is now excluded, and then it's up to us to reach out and try and touch base, alert people, read your policy. At the end of the day, that's what the insurance company is going to say, oh, you didn't check your policy at the renewal? It was on line 432 on page 900. You didn't read that? You go, no. Nope. So that's kind of how they slip it in there and get away with it. They'll just slip it in, hope you don't ever read it, and then they say, oh, yeah, there it is. And you go, oh, crap. So I'll try to keep an eye on it and see what we can dig up and keep the community posted on there for you.
Okay, that's fair. All right. What you got, Steve?
Let's talk about Dave and Chris's charity and your organization. So let's turn it over to you guys. Introduce yourselves and your charity and what you got going on. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Hey, everybody.
Both of you.
My name is Dave Lowry. This is Chris up above me. Say hello, Chris.
How you doing, guys?
Hey.
So we are officially launching Mayhem Racing Charities today, kind of an extension off my other group, Cruising for Causes. We've been doing meets since January. And the real mission of these entities combined are to bring our car community together and show everybody that we're not the bad PR that you see there every day, that the media tries to push, the highway shutdowns, all that. No, we're actually 99.9% really good dudes and ladies, and we're here to make a difference in our community and improve it. But to do that, it's not just telling people that, they're going to say, oh, that's great, but show me. So that's really our mission, is to get everybody together and bring our horsepower together for causes for good. So each of our meets, we're bringing money for various local causes. We partner with our hosts to see maybe some causes there, or if there's causes going on in the local community, things that have kind of come up on the radar instantly. We'll join in and just help try to show them that we're worthwhile having around, and we do want to be around, and they want us around. So that's really kind of the overall mission and how we're going to accomplish that. People say, that's great. Everybody puts cones up, signs up. We still get burnouts. Look what just happened last weekend. You're never, ever going to shut that down. I agree. You're never fully going to control human nature. You just can't. But what we can do is, with our charity, we have membership now. So to be part of our events, our Cruising for Causes events, you're going to have to be a member to get access to that, because that's the way we're going to protect, insulate, and control what we're doing and make sure we don't ruin it and ruin a bad thing for everybody. So that way, if somebody does act up, we pull their membership and you're out. There's no tolerance for it. We don't have time for it as a community, and the community around us just doesn't have time for it. So that's really kind of the goal with it. Memberships will open up doors for deals with local vendors too, and businesses in the car community. So again, you get extra deals, helping everybody help the car community grow together with good people to keep it around for everybody in future generations. We have an official partner, Automart. They're allowing us to host in their lot now, second Sunday of each month. So keep an eye on our Cruising for Causes calendar event there. But they have a huge lot there. Awesome crew over there. They're fully on board with what we're doing too, keeping it in control. Membership, they're fully liking that too, because they want to protect their interests too. Again, it's just as much a risk to open it up as us to put our name on it and be there hosting it with them. So for us to keep getting these invites and keep being welcome in places, we had to be able to offer something back to these businesses. And so that's really what we're offering is protection, guarantees of quality events without risk of ending up on the newscast. We have reached out to local law enforcement, traffic divisions and stuff to start working with them at our meets, having them just even have a tent and explain why they're having to crack down. It's not that they're anti-car and anti-hobby. It's we're causing high risk to innocent people on the roadway, and they can't let that happen. And so I want them out there helping work with us and explain their situation, how we can help them, how they can help us, and working together to just improve it and get these black eyes away from us and show the community what we're really all about. And that's having fun, building cars, coming together and making an impact and bettering our community, not hurting it. Chris, do you have anything to add on to there?
Yeah, I was just going to say that the big thing about it is we're not just a car club. We're not just a car group. Everything that we do focuses around our community. So you addressed everything with restoring the reputation for the car scene, the car community. The other half of what we're doing is we're restoring our community at the same time. COVID was hard on everyone, hurt everybody. A lot of businesses shut down. Those that are left are struggling. In the last 2 weeks, we've worked with a dozen immediate businesses in the local area that we've just single-handedly just said, hey, tell us what you need. How much is it going to be? We're going to put on this event. We're going to charge for it. We're going to get you guys money, and we're just going to go around the block and share that wealth with everybody. So we don't want to just stick with just one business. We want to help everybody. So if you're interested, you want to partner with us, you want to do an event with us, we've got lots of ideas that we're trying to push around and just finding time for everybody. The big thing is we're just trying to just restore everything for everyone. Because if we don't have businesses, we can't do fun stuff with the cars. If we don't have the car scene, we can't do fun stuff for the businesses.
Yep. Very, very true. Very, very true.
What's the point of cars if we don't have a hobby or people to go share it with in a community to go hang out with? Like, cars aren't fun if all we do is sit in the garage by ourselves with them. Like, let's not let that happen.
Depends.
So
depends on how big your garage is.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. It's very true. But no, yeah, definitely. Because I know Steve and I went to the last event you had, and it was a really good showing. You know,
thank you.
For a very cold, it was cold and windy, but a lot of people braved that, and they definitely came out, and it was really good. So, and that's just even echo your points. It's this is a car community, and a lot of times we have to police our own. Okay, so the moment we decide we're okay with unacceptable behavior is the moment you put a death nail into whatever you love. That's the whole point.
So I was explaining to Dave, because we were trying to spitball and talk about how are we going to combat this, how do we stop this, and just address it in general. And the conversation came up that you can't stop it. Right. And I said, I've been doing this for 11 years internationally, doing car events. And in those 11 years, we've never had one incident in the group that I was doing it with. That's kind of how we've modeled Mayhem Racing Charities after, is how we address those situations. In those 11 years, we've had 2 people that were removed from membership, basically. It's not tolerated, like you said. There's just no room for it. Everybody else respects that. And it's a place they want to be. And the people who are going to break the rules aren't going to want to be a part of that because they don't want to have those restrictions. Yeah. That's okay, because they're not going to be a part of my group then.
Right. And that's true. Because again, it's all about policing our, ourselves and using the resources that are available to us. I mean, we all know you can't stop it. It's always going to happen. But it's when do you tolerate it? And once you start tolerating it and just going, well, it happened, blah, blah, blah. Well, then that's an open invitation. If you make it more difficult, if there's consequences involved in actions, that's the whole thing. You're supposed to hold people responsible for the actions they do. There's consequences to everything that you do. The moment you decide that you're not going to do that, then it's over. And there'll be some people saying, well, who are you guys to tell people what to do? I'm actually nobody to tell anybody what to do, except I like to go to Cars and Coffee. And if you're gonna endanger that, then I'm gonna find a way to make sure that the message gets across to you that your behavior is not tolerated. That's the key. Okay. that's how it works. So yes, I've been to many cars and coffees that are well organized, and this behavior happens. Lafayette, it happens, and they have cops there all the time, but it gets shut down because look at that, there is a consequence to your action. Okay, and that's the key. Mm-hmm. So and that's what it is. So if people are aware that there might be a consequence, they have a tendency kind of go, well, we won't do it there, we'll go somewhere else. Yeah, is that pushing the buck? Of course it is. Damn right it is. Okay, but it protects the one, it protects what we need to, protect, and then hopefully the others start getting on board. But yeah, definitely good points, guys. Really, really good points.
And that's just it, Terry. We think about it, people are going to go, well, you guys are putting a lot of restrictions on cars and this and that membership. I get it. It's not for everybody, and that's okay. We're still going to share the events out there. It's just if you want to be your car in our shows, at our events, you're still as a spectator, you're welcome to come in. Right. Part of the parking areas and really involved in them. This is the only way we felt that we were going to be able to do it for those consequences. We're able to actively discourage it, kind of publicly shame it too. If you do that, everyone in the group is going to call you out instantly and say, stop screwing up what we're trying to do here. Get out. You're not here. And I'm really okay with that, because it's getting to that point where if we don't do this, we may not have parking lots to meet at long term if this keeps up. So it's just not worth it.
Yep, exactly. So kind of getting into the actual charity and cruising for causes, etc. Can you break that down a little bit for everybody who's listening and watching today?
Yeah. So essentially the goal behind it, because people are going to say, well, that's great, you're going to collect all this money, what are you going to do with it? So the membership dues are going to basically fund the charity for all the things that we do in terms of event costs, all of that stuff. And what that allows us to do then is every event we go to as a group, all the money we raise that day goes to the cause that we're raising money for. So nothing comes back to the charity on those days. We don't have to split anything 50-50. It's, hey, we're showing up to your cause full in force. We're here to help you with nothing coming back to us because we're paying it forward with our membership dues. So that way, all our good money can go back out to the community. And that's really kind of the high level view of the charity, of how it's going to, flow with that. Long term, we do have some bigger plans for it to help just, again, protect our hobby. It's Enthusiast Preservation Club is really kind of our idea behind it, to make sure that we always have enthusiasts in place to go as enthusiasts. So this is kind of the first start of it. Is we got to get some support behind it, get going. But I think if you've been to one of my events, I think hopefully you've had a lot of fun. We really try to gear it towards family. We have the Hot Wheel bucket out there. I really want the whole family out there. It's my main goal, because without the families, again, it's going to lose the hobby, and we want everybody out there. We want the next generations and everybody out there having fun together. So it's really getting exciting for that. And from here now, we can start really controlling and getting everybody that has the same idea and same end goal on board on that same train. And let's all pull even harder and start making waves out there. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, definitely. So
what are some big events coming up?
Yes.
That you got?
So our biggest one, we have a Rally Dorado is what we're calling it. That's 425, April 25th, next Sunday. It's a one-day rally across Colorado, basically. It's about 400 miles. Cost is $150. Includes your entry into the Royal Gorge. We actually got permission to drive across the Royal Gorge as a group. We get pictures on there. We get about a half hour on the bridge together. So that's really cool. Normally you can't do that. They shut that down for the general public. Then we're down to the Ludlow Monument down in Trinidad. From there, we're headed down to Cartopia, also in Trinidad. That's a really cool place. If you've never seen it, Google it. They operate on donations only too. So again, they're opening up exclusively for us on Sunday. Normally they're closed. Chris reached out to them, convinced them to open up because of the amount of good stuff we're bringing to them. We promised them a good amount of donations with cars, and he said, that's worth me opening up for you guys. So again, This is really what we're about. From there, we're circling back up to Colorworks powder coating. For an after party, we have a food truck lined up. You get food vouchers as part of that. You get a t-shirt. You also get an entry into a Udinen R7 radar detector that we're going to give away. And that's for only the rally participants. No one else that shows up to the after party or anything like that gets an entry into that. So it's going to be fun. We have a DJ and stuff. So it's going to be a ton of fun. That's our big one. We have Liberty Fest coming up in July. We have a poker run in May coming up with Colorworks. That's all around the Douglas County area. There's about 5 different stops on that one. We got so many, it's hard. Sorry, I'm just talking away. The season finale one, we have Cars at the Canyon. That's going to be a really fun one. It's Castle Canyon. If you've never been there or heard about it, it's a state park south of town in Douglas County. And they've never show there. They usually don't allow that. Talked to the ranger. He gave me a special one-time pass to try it out. So again, it's very important to be on our best behavior for this, because if we don't, then we'll never be invited back. And I don't want to screw this up. It's a really cool venue. We're going to be raising money for another 501c3 that their mission is building up infrastructure at the park, much needed bridges, some other housing structures that need to be improved out there. So all the money there is going to go with them. So again, we're just trying to use our force of cars and people that we have together to just direct it to good places and have a lot of fun along the way and showcase our cars and just build our presence in the community.
So your rally on the 25th, do you have any open entries still that somebody can get in, or is it closed?
We have about 12 left. It's a total of 50 spots. So we have about 12. So get in quick. It is filling up pretty quick, which is awesome. So hopefully sign up and is.
Okay. Well, thanks, Dave. Chris, was there anything else that you wanted to add about the events or the
I'd say the most important thing is, how do they find where to sign up? You got to go to cruisinforcauses.com. Yes. That's cruising without the G, CRUISIN, cruisinforcauses.com. And also check out the Mayhem for Racing Charities website, mayhemracingcharities.com. That's where you can also find more information. We can link you over there too as well. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of good stuff. Just tip of the iceberg.
Yep, very true.
Very and then we do have kind of one kicker that we want to announce too, just to try and get this thing launched off. So I had a long time great customer, really family member, honestly, come in today, and they have a child that has SMA. Wasn't expected to live really past 6 months. He's now like 15 years old and just powering through. You know, each year is a new miracle, and he just says, nope, I'm going to keep on going. But one of their needs that they came in today with, they need a 5x7 enclosed trailer. He's getting bigger. He has a big electric cart, and they just need ways to load it in and out easily. They don't have a lot of extra money. All their money goes to helping him. It's insane. It's 24/7 care by paramedics, local firefighters, volunteering. Yeah. And if you talk to them, you would never know it. I mean, they're the most amazing people in the whole wide world. So what we're going to do with our charity to really get this going, anyone that signs up between now and the end of April, April 30th, we're going to donate 100% of your first month dues trailer fund. So basically, if we can get 100 members probably signed up, there's their 5x7 enclosed trailer, and we can go donate it to them free of charge to them and make a world of difference to her. So that's kind of what we're offering there. If you pay annually, there's an annual discount. Again, we'll credit the first month's amount there towards that, but we're going to kick everything 100% for anyone that signs up over the next 2 weeks roughly to that, and try and get her a trailer for her and her family and help them out big time.
Yeah, and if you do an annual membership, not only do you get a small discount, but we're also going to throw in some free swag for you. We won't leave you hanging for helping us out so quick. So whether it's T-shirts, hats, or Adams Polishes kits, we'll find something fun to give you guys. We'll take care of you.
Nice.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's an awesome charity for this event. That's cool. Awesome, you guys are doing that.
Yep. Yeah, it's great. Really. So definitely, everybody check it out. It's worthwhile. They're all good courses, and definitely check them out. Sign up,
and that's what we want to promote. We want to promote all the positive things that are happening in the car community. This is what's a perfect example. So
and that's the thing
awesome.
is we're not just a car club. Like I said, this is just proving how much it's about the cause and the people around us in the community. Yep. We want to build this membership. We want to build this club. The first thing we're doing is taking all the money and throwing it at a charity. We're not even getting anything for the group yet. That's how serious we are.
That's good. That's really good. Excellent. Okay. Good.
Cool. Well, if anybody has any questions, again, reach out to either Chris or I. Happy to answer questions there. We'll make a separate post and stuff, chatting a little bit more and with some links and stuff. But appreciate you having us on in here.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Sure.
Anytime, guys. Anytime.
Yeah.
Seriously. And definitely go check everything out. And Dave is a sponsor for us, our insurance guy. So if you need some, reach out to him.
Yep.
All right.
Good help.
Matt, what was you thinking? You're quiet over there, so I
Yes,
want to
Matt's quiet today.
give you the floor.
I don't have anything.
Other than flicking the lights on and off all the time, I don't know. But
Oh yeah, I've got to figure out my light situation over here now that I'm settled in my little office space.
Ooh.
I realize my lighting is not good.
So, what are your thoughts on the positive car community and organizing events and these charities? What are some of your thoughts?
I think these charities are a great way to kind of push back against all the negative press that the car community has received, especially recently. Like you mentioned earlier, the highway takeovers, that was fairly recent, and then we see this issue on Sunday. But yeah, I think the charities are a great way to highlight that we're not just a bunch of hooligans out there wrecking into people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Most of us are the guys you see at the grocery store right next to you. Like, we're
Right.
not punks.
Well,
In the garage,
There
maybe.
we go.
It's a mean talk in the garage.
exactly. It's very, very true. It's very true. Actually, there was a question on. So sometimes I can't see the name and I have to look it up. But this one's for you,
that's
Dave, real
Kyle.
quick.
That's Kyle Connor.
Kyle.
Oh, Kyle. So I do auto, basically everything but health insurance. It's easier to just say that. But auto, home, life, renters, umbrellas, event insurance, Haggerty, broker for Haggerty.
Nice. And we all know this to be true.
I swear that wasn't me.
Just saying.
Oh, that's it.
But that's so good to know, guys. Dave covers everything but health insurance, and you don't want to get into that game. On the health
No.
insurance.
So, any other comments from the peanut gallery, our viewers, our listeners?
Any other comments
we'll take questions or concerns, ideas. What's on your mind?
We want to discuss Steve's
Anything
Coke Zero
out there?
habit.
Any
Yeah,
questions
no.
on the rally or the clubhouse or anything? Let us know.
You
Any
guys have a
questions?
clubhouse? Yeah, wow! Holy cow!
Actually, so when I go to LA next week, so my brother-in-law is a member of a car club, but it's you get to drive like E-types. There's a Ferrari, there's a Vet, and all that kind of stuff, and they got a little clubhouse of pinball machines and stuff. It's actually pretty cool.
There's one like that in Chicago, the Autobahn Country Club.
Yeah. So it's actually really good. So yes, this is a good idea. Let's say there's more track events, get people out driving. Go ahead and set them up. The only way to get more events is get involved, set them up. And again, I'll reinstate it. Bandimere has a full schedule. There's plenty of track events, PPIR, track events. They're all over the place.
High Plains
On our
Raceway.
newsletter, if you sign up to our actual newsletter, we have schedules of PPIR, High Plains, Bandimere is going to be added to there, all those things. But if you want to, set up track events and go talk to PPIR and all those, reach out to them. Say, hey, this is what I want to do. How much is this? How much is that? But yes, this is how it's done. For sure.
Hosting your own track event is not cheap, so that's why we need funding.
Yes, it's not cheap. I tell you right now, it's not cheap. But they're out there and they're always there.
And they're a lot of
You
fun.
know?
Yep.
Yeah, they're
Not just hosting as an event, but attending
really
one is well worth it.
Yeah, and then as I said, there's if you go to take it to the track events at Bandimere, it's like $40.
Cheap.
And that it's cheap. So you can go, and that's where they're all at. And the weather's getting better, restrictions are starting to come down.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go support those tracks. And let's support your local Cars and Coffee events, and let's support Dave's group and Chris's group, Chris's for the causes, because that's how things survive, and that's how we get out. So go ahead and definitely do it.
You want to talk about an expensive track, go to Talladega.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Oh geez.
I've done it. It's expensive. It's fun. You're like this the whole time. It's expensive. But
I can bet.
it's something that you cannot pass on if you ever get the opportunity.
Right.
And that's the kind of enjoyment that we plan on bringing to everyone, is being able to do those fun, exclusive things that not everyone gets to just go out and do. I mean, we can all go down to the local mini golf court and ride the golf carts, and why not do that with like big cars?
Yes.
Let's go drive across the Royal Gorge Bridge because we can,
Right.
not because we want to.
Right. Exactly right.
I want to.
And well, yeah, Dave wants to.
Dave, I'll let
But
you
yeah.
lead the pack.
Cool.
So
We'll test the bridge with your car.
Okay, it's like, thanks, Facebook user.
Thank you.
Facebook user knows everything.
That is David Bennett.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, David. And he's a big supporter of our group too. He's donated a lot of stuff. He donates dyno sessions at our meets. So
nice.
David Bennett is a great connection to Community West Mortgage. He's been a big help to these events too. Again, it's not just me running these; it's a lot of people that have helped create all this stuff together. I'm just kind of the face of it. So again, it takes a lot of work to put these on. I really appreciate everybody showing up and supporting them.
Yeah, it does. No, I
And
mean,
It don't feel like you have to have a fancy car to show up to any of our events either. The big thing about it is the group that you're with, the people you're with. It's a family atmosphere. As I told someone earlier today, you could go rent a minivan and show up, and I'll make it the coolest minivan at the rally.
Very, very simply put, a Cars and Coffee event is not a car show, kids. Okay. Car show is a car show where you go look at things and go, damn, somebody sank $50,000 into that thing. Jeez, that's called a car show. Cars and Coffee event is basically people pulling up in the car that they own, or maybe like a weekend car, and looking around and seeing other cars. So yeah, there's going to be a massive mix of cars out there. Okay, if one event is not for you, there's plenty of others out there, and that's how it works. So, sorry, but that's really it, And if you really want to see low beat garbage, I'll bring my RAV4. Okay, if that makes you happy, I'll park that thing and say, "Here's a RAV4, 2004." And I haven't washed it in a while, and the interior is like chock full of like grit from where I go do things. Stuff like that. Have fun with that. And Steve might bring his Outlander. That's a treat.
Give it a Survivor Award.
It's a 2008 Outlander. So 4 years newer than your RAV4 there, Terry.
Yeah, but I'm a
special.
five-speed
It's
manual,
special.
baby.
Mine's
Maybe we should do a daily driver.
Mine's a CVT. It's a gutless 4-cylinder CVT. It's terrible.
I got a
Kyle
five-speed
wants to see the
manual.
RAV4.
It is how I'm teaching my daughter to drive right now, so it's perfect for that.
Yes.
Good luck.
Yes.
Oh, she's doing great. She's doing great. We went on I-25 today. We went down through Parker Road, then we come up through Castle Rock, and then we got on I-25 north, and we got off on County Line Road. So she didn't know she was getting on the highway today. So that was a surprise to her, but she did just fine.
That's
I don't know if she's watching. She's probably not watching, but
no. Well, why would she want to?
hey,
watch?
Cammie, you did great. Cammie, you did great. So
2 gold stars.
yes,
Yes, you should bring your
Yes,
custom.
please
camper
do.
van.
Why not?
Camper vans are awesome.
Do it. You
Why
kidding?
not?
Come on, let's get that done. But yeah, I mean, definitely. Well, that's good. There's many cars to see. That's the key. There's cars I love to see, but there's also cars that I'm just like amazed are still around. It's as simple as that. And if somebody wants to bring whatever they drive because that's what they're proud of, that's what they're proud of, guys.
Mhm.
Okay, that's their car and they're proud of it. Okay, simple.
And to kind of piggyback onto that too, Terry, that's kind of the goal of the group too, is remember that these are everybody's pride and joys, and respect that. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care what car it is. We're here as a car community, and like you said, it's $1 car or $2 million car. I don't care.
Yeah.
If you're a good person, you're here for the right reason, come and hang out, and I want to check out your car. But if you're here just to, whatever, then for the right in the right place.
I like hearing the stories behind why they still have it, or if it's something that most people don't
or they've
care
always
about.
wanted.
Yeah, what's so special about it? Tell me a story.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. It's like, I won't be able to get half the cars I really want. because I'm not rich like Steve, and so Steve's rich, guys. He's so rich. It's disgusting how much money Steve has.
Yeah, that's why I have a 2008 Outlander.
Just so we all know,
the special story I have about that is it's still running and it's paid off.
It's paid off.
Oh, that reminds me.
We were cars that is still running and paid off.
Hey, Steve, I forgot to tell you, we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. It's expiring.
I might pick up on it. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's many cars out there that I would love to own, and not all of them are this super exotic, like multi-million dollar, like, we want a Koenigsegg. What the hell I want that for? I can't drive it anywhere. Honestly, if somebody can, turns up a Cars and Coffee with a Peugeot 205 GTI, go ahead and impress me, because I love that car. Absolutely love that car. Now, if there's one over here, I'll be amazed if there's this 205 GTI even in this country, But also when I see some of the older cars, like I see Austin Healey's and Austin, 3000s, or, Frog-Eyed Sprite, which is, it's a Frog-Eyed Sprite. It's not a Bug-Eyed Sprite, you stupid Americans. I know those cars. I giggle, but I understand why people have them. I see MGs. That when I was at Vehicle Vault, there was an MG GTB. Now, my father owned an MG GTB when we lived in England, and it was a classic example of early 1970s British Leyland. We're on strike all the time, so nothing's going to work, and I hope you have fun with loose-scale electronics. And that's what those cars are. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for anybody. They are. But when they work, they're amazing. And I have fond memories of being in that car when it worked. Also fond memories of being in that car when it's decided to stop working 50 miles away from home, and having my father curse up and down. Most people who's ever met me when I'm not on here, where I'm restricted by certain things, and I swear a lot. You know where I learned that from? 1974 MG GTB in purple with my father driving it when it decided a Lucas electric fuel pump burnout, and my father, rah! I'm like, I'll write that down. He actually used many of those in a perfect sentence. It's great. But it's all those things, and there's stories behind cars, and that's what I love to hear, is when somebody brings in something and they say, this was my father's car, my grandfather's car, and it was sold, and I found it and I bought it.
I was going to bring a couple of
car ever
cars that were at Dave's event on, was it Sunday or Saturday? But
Sunday.
Down there at Auto Art.
Was it Saturday?
Sunday.
Oh, it was
Sunday.
Yeah.
So this is a friend of ours, Josh, and he shows up in his Subaru GL. I think that's what it is. And he's raised it and put a lot of love into it. It takes it off-road rally kind of things, and Lemons Rally and things like that. So
awesome.
He brought his dog Banner with him. So we were talking to him real quick, see what he was up to. So there's his
Banner.
There's Banner.
Hey, Banner's actually in our video that we just posted.
Oh, really? Nice. Very nice.
I mean, there's all sorts of great, cars. There's so many. And then we took pictures of a Volvo because we went down to CarMax to go look at things.
It was fun to see all the variety at your event there.
Yes.
You guys did
bring up the
did it really well.
See, so for some people to say, when I go to Cars and Coffee events, I only see BMWs or Subarus or et cetera. Well, yeah, there's some that are this way. And then there was here when we went to Dave's, and you had a collection of everything. This is what these events really are like. Some of them, once they start picking up more, like when Lafayette officially comes back, you're going to see a lot. But yeah, I love this stuff because there's so much good stuff to look at, and cars you never considered. Oh, get that thing away from me.
This is a friend of ours and fellow admin, Morris
Minor. Yes, it's very minor.
That's cool.
Yes, I mean, I just like
so cool.
I love that it's parked next to a Ferrari.
Oh, that Ferrari is like huge, and there's a little Morris Minor with the semaphore, but those semaphores don't work because they have to switch over to there, and it's not like they don't work. Going, oh, I'm gonna convert over. It's basically it's a whole story.
So Mark, he told me to, go ahead and open the door and take a look inside. So I opened the door, but when I shut the door, the thing was kind of bouncing like this. Just there sitting like I don't know about the springs on this thing, but
Mars Miner. So there's a great selection. Oh, and there's
Dave's car.
There's Dave's car.
Oh, look at that one. Yeah.
Hey, I like that.
Wow.
That's cool.
Oh, talking about like the big, bucket, aka chest of Hot Wheels. So that's a great idea. It's wonderful. It gets kids involved. In order to get adults involved, I highly recommend a big bucket of ribs.
See, I thought you were going to say a big bucket of big cars.
Nope. So in order to entice us middle-aged men that should not be eating fattening food, aka me, to appear, a big bucket of ribs, namely beef ribs, please, because they're big.
So does the sign say, "Please take one rib," or
Well, the sign says, "We will fight for ribs."
I'll tell you what.
So basically, you need a barbecue food truck there to get Terry at the.
Terry, I'll tell you what.
I need free ribs, man. Free.
Terry, if you come to the rally on the 25th, we'll give you a breakfast burrito in the morning, and we'll give you like something like a nice greasy burger at the end there. How's that sound?
See, yeah, that's great. And I have Lipitor. So go back, Steve. Back.
How far?
Back. One more.
That
There's a rarity, kids. You see that Austin Mini? That's like the pickup truck version. I know that is straight out. And I know because I saw it. And I looked at Steve and I said, "Hey, you don't see these. But when I was growing up, they were around." And that's like a rarity. That's fun because you want to go to the guy and go, "What possessed you to get this thing imported in?" What?
And you knew it was a truck version right away.
Yes,
I was looking at it from it front on, so I couldn't even tell it was a truck. So somehow you did that. I didn't know you do that.
It's because I grew up with those things, man. It's just like, it's like that's how it was.
That's actually one of my customers, Terry, and he's a big mini guy. So
really,
if you ever, Peter, he's an awesome guy. He's got some really cool ones. So if you ever run into him, he's a big mini guy, and he's got a whole collection of them, really cool ones too. But he's been on a couple. He went on a cruise one time with us. So yeah,
that's great because my best friend in England, his mother when we were growing up, she had a mini Clubman with the wood. Okay, which is another rarity that you see. You're just going, what the? And then she had that for a while. That she had other horrible English cars like an Allegro and an Austin Princess, And then she got a mini Metro. I think it was like a dog. But those cars, I just know. I see them. I'm like, somebody did that. We got a Camaro. Oh yeah, we got the Chevelle. But yeah, there's many good variety of cars at all these events. So just definitely go. And if you find an event and you go to and you're like, well, I didn't see what I want to see, wait the next week. And just go to another one.
Or ask. Seriously, if you ask, someone might have one at home and they may have bought something else today. Yeah. I mean, look at Dave. How many fun toys do you have, Dave?
Right.
One.
That's a lot.
Look at Steve.
The rest of them are not fun.
Well, one's a clam hood. So,
Chris, I already have one wife. Come on now.
Steve has many fun cars. I mean, he has the Outlander, and then he has the Alpha.
Kia Sorento.
Kia Sorento.
Yeah.
He also has a GT3. He doesn't. He doesn't have a GT3.
Casually slip that one in.
I do have a Lotus though.
Yes, he does. There it is. He's got a Lotus. Lots of trouble, usually serious. Lotus.
Hey, I want to do a quick shout out to John Shent. He's another one of our founders and drivers for Mayhem Racing Charities. He's at home watching his baby sleep right now, which is why he's not on here with us. But I know he's probably listening.
He was, but he said he had to go. Yep.
2 weeks old now.
Yeah, he's busy now.
He's a new father, so
yeah.
That That will keep you busy. That's
We
for
keep
sure.
we keep giving them all the great tips and the surprise ones. Like, wait till this happens.
Yeah.
Every day's a new adventure with parenthood.
Yep. All right, Terry, do you want to wrap
All
it
right.
up for us tonight?
We're going to wrap it up. So, again,
Okay.
thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks,
tonight.
everybody.
It was a really good conversation. We
Yeah,
do
thank you.
appreciate Chris and Dave being on. It's really appreciated. So,
Yep.
again, definitely stay in touch with your local car scene. Just visit your favorite social media channels. We're on almost all of them. Just search for Color Cars and Coffee. We're on Facebook, IG, YouTube, and more. So that's it for tonight. Some of us will see you next week. I won't, because I'll be in Los Angeles getting free stuff from my sister, and she doesn't listen to this, so I won't get in trouble. I'm going to see what I can milk out of her and do the old, I was in the hospital and I'm your baby brother. So I'm gonna pull that garbage and see if I get a phone or an iPad or I don't know, some bullshit that way. But Steve will be here. But then again, thanks very much, and your feedback is always appreciated. So
Yep.
if there's anything on here you think we can improve on or not improve on or get rid of Steve, you let us know.
Yeah, I would love to go.
Have a great night, guys. Thank you very much, and
Yeah,
be
everybody.
safe out there in the snow.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, we'll see y'all later. Have a good one.
We are